Hello, I'm welcoming you in SmartBear Talks, where we're discussing exciting and trending topics with software testing experts. Today, we continue introducing the ReadyAPI team to all of you. And in this video, we will talk with a person who knows everything about the successful product usage. Please meet Joe Joyce from the solution engineering team. Hi, Joe.
Tatiana, how you doing? Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you.
I'm good. Thanks. Thanks for joining us today. Let me explain a bit more what our community members can expect to hear today. So today we will you will learn more about the duties that each solution engineer is doing at work, and about how the team helps the customers to get the most from the product. But before we dive into this topic, let's learn more about our guest today. Joe, please share your background with the ReadyAPI community. How did you start your career? Where are you from?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Ireland. I'm based in Galway, which is on the west coast of Ireland. That's where the SmartBear EMEA headquarters are. So there's a lot of the sales team and some of the development team and some of the solutions engineering team are here. So this is home for me. That's where I'm from. I've been working in IT and tech for about 5 or 6 years now, give or take, since I finished college. I studied information technology and then did a master's in information systems, and have worked in a couple of different roles. I've done a bit of web development, a little bit of business analysis, and tech support jobs for a while. And I've been with SmartBear for 3 years now. So I've been an SE for about 3 years, and yeah, that's how I got to where I am now. Anyway, that's my background.
Okay, nice. Could you please explain exactly, or maybe in several sentences, if it is possible, what exactly do you do for SmartBear?
Yes, that's a good question. Yeah, so the SE, like I'll say, yeah, SE for short. The SE role it's a little bit of everything, and that's kind of, I think, what attracted me to the role, because so your main job is your kind of technical support for the SmartBear sales team. So a salesperson might come to me and say, I've talked to this tester, they're evaluating ReadyAPI. Here are their technical requirements for this project or that project. Do you think it's a fit? So our kind of main job is answering those kind of questions and helping the sales team figure out if the person they're talking to actually needs ReadyAPI or whatever tool, happens to be the topic of conversation. And that usually involves demos. So, most of the SE's time would be, product demonstrations or a troubleshooting call or some kind of technical call, basically to help customers figure out if the tool is the right tool for them. And then if it is, to help make sure they're actually getting the best use they can out of the technology. So there's a couple of things, that you might be asked to do as an SE, but the main, the bulk of your time is probably giving demonstrations and doing technical calls.
Okay, great. And what is the most rewarding part of your work? You work up early morning and you feel like, okay, today I'm doing this and this, and that will be so great.
I think the thing that I like the most and that I find the most rewarding about, this type of work is that you get to learn a lot. There's a lot of opportunities to learn because, ReadyAPI could potentially be used by, basically anyone who's writing or testing APIs or writing software in any kind of industry or any kind of application or business, right? So you end up talking to a very wide variety of technical people. So you learn a lot, right? You're like I said, I've been doing this for 3 years, and, there's still, every week, every day, I'll be on a call and, you might hear about, oh, this is a new way of using this technology, or we're writing these types of APIs. So because everything is changing a lot all the time in tech and software development, there's a lot of opportunities to talk to, people who are experts in their field and learn from them. So I think that's the main thing. Like, there's barely a week that has gone by since I started where I haven't learned something that I didn't know before, which I think is a very good thing about any job.
Okay, and that's great. So I agree with you that at the moment there are so many like customer types or user types that can use ReadyAPI, because even in our team, in the community and education team, we're using ReadyAPI also, because sometimes we will need to check some API responses, and ReadyAPI is great for this.
Yeah.
Do you use any other maybe additional external resources in order to educate yourself instead of not only, I mean, using the ReadyAPI tools?
Yeah. I mean, YouTube is probably where I would spend most of my time, looking up tutorials on this or that. Like, anyone who's working in testing or development, you'll know that there's so many great channels that are kind of very up to date, and they're constantly uploading, good videos and good tutorials on, this or that protocol or language or methodology or whatever. So there's hours and hours and hours of kind of great content on YouTube, as well as the community. And I'm not just saying this, but the community is, and I say it on every demo that we do, or that I do anyway, that, the community is your friend. So if you're going to be spending any amount of time using a SmartBear tool, make sure to bookmark that, that page, because, there's a lot of people who are a lot of experts using ReadyAPI or Swagger Hub or whatever tool it is, but that are constantly kind of, answering questions on threads and giving examples and sharing code and sharing snippets. So it's, there's a lot there as well, always learning from that too.
Yeah, definitely. And ReadyAPI users, you even can meet Joe in the community also, because Joe is very active in participating and replying to questions.
I do my best, but I get answers there myself sometimes as well. There's a lot of experts. There's a lot of other experts on the community that I bother them for help when I can't figure out an answer to a question. So it's a very helpful community to be a part of, I think.
Yeah, thanks. That's great. That's a great feedback about the community. Thanks for this. Returning to the calls with your customers, because you said that you have many of them. Can you recollect maybe the most interesting use case that you helped to resolve, or maybe the most memorable one?
So I remember maybe this time last year, I had a call with a team that were looking at ReadyAPI, and what stuck out was that they were developing an application for basically billboards. So billboards and advertisements that you'd see, driving down the motorway or something, and you might see kind of a digital billboard or something like that. And, what kind of stuck out to me after that call was, that there really are APIs everywhere that you wouldn't necessarily be expecting it, right? That you could, and it's something that we would say all the time on calls and webinars, that, it's the API economy, or talk about how widespread APIs are. But even that kind of surprised me, that I never would have thought that kind of in the back end of an ad or something like that, there was endpoints and kind of requests and responses being sent, kind of feeding data back and forth between something like the billboard and some back end for analysis. So that one kind of stuck out as a surprising use case.
Okay, that's interesting. So I believe, yes, you have many of them each day.
Well, that's it. Exactly. There's always something new to learn from every customer.
Yeah. Is there any ReadyAPI features you like the most, or if you can explain, why do you think that you like ReadyAPI in the usage?
I think it always comes back to the fact that it's the ease of use, I think, in that the best kind of, a lot of the best success that I've seen teams have with ReadyAPI have been, maybe test teams that are coming from either not no testing, but maybe more manual testing, or maybe they're moving from front end testing to back end testing. And I think what I've seen for the last couple of years is that, when teams start looking into API testing and start doing API testing for the first time, like, depending on, the background or the experience of the team, it can seem like a daunting process. And then that's even before you bring in like automating the API tests. So I think probably what ReadyAPI is, I don't know, the thing that I like the best about ReadyAPI, and the thing that I think makes it quite useful for teams, is that it is quite easy to, open it, do a quick tutorial, maybe have a look in the community, and, it shouldn't take you that long to write a couple of test suites and, connect a few data sources, automate some stuff. It's it's easy to use basically. And so the learning curve is gentle initially, but you could spend years kind of mastering it, and you could, write extensions for it and write plugins. And, it's the fact that it's so extensible at the same time, right? You could use just this basic out of the box functionality, or if you wanted to write a plugin or script something, or, you can get as technical with it as you want. So I think that's probably what I think is the strongest aspect of it.
Okay, so it's kind of, it sounds like it's very flexible and can be adapted to any like use case.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, great. And you said about creating the plugins, but I believe that even in the SmartBear family, there are several products that can extend the ReadyAPI functionality. Can you say several words about this?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, the way that the SE team is organized, there's an API lifecycle, unit of the team, and we would cover ReadyAPI, and we would also talk about Swagger Hub and Test Engine, right? So two other API lifecycle tools. And Swagger Hub is an API design and documentation tool. So basically, if you've ever used an API definition to create a project in ReadyAPI, Swagger Hub is a repository for open API spec definitions. And it's also a design tool. So you can basically collaborate and create an open API definition, which is like a kind of like a blueprint for your API in Swagger Hub. And then, on the one hand, send that to your developers to actually build it. But then ReadyAPI integrates with Swagger Hub, where you can pull in the definition and start generating tests and writing assertions using the definition. So that's one kind of interesting integration. And then Test Engine, I'm sure some of the community or some of the audience maybe has used that before, right? And it's kind of a new enough addition to the API lifecycle tool set, but it's a standalone runner of ReadyAPI tests. So you could have a test engine sitting on a server somewhere, and set up an automation that sends ReadyAPI projects to Test Engine, and the Test Engine handles the queuing and the execution of the test. So it's a new way of doing what you would have done with Test Runner in the past. So if anyone's used the Test Runner feature in ReadyAPI. So it's interesting because you can end up then talking to customers and customer scenarios where maybe they're using all three, which really kind of stretches the functionality. But it's interesting to see, kind of teams use all three in a project and kind of have success with it, right? So that's kind of that's all. They're always interesting calls.
Okay, that's great. That's very interesting. So in addition to ReadyAPI, feel free to try using Test Engine and Swagger Hub to Definitely. See what other great functionalities you can use to be successful in the API world. Great, thanks so much. Thank you, Joe, for this interview. That was extremely interesting. If you have any several words to the ReadyAPI community, you can use this rest time to say them.
Oh, well, first of all, thanks for digging me out of customer questions sometimes, because I've lost count of the amount of times on a demo a customer might have a complicated question or something that I'd never heard before, and you take a look in the community, and yes, thankfully someone has had this problem before. So thanks for all the times you've dig me out of a tough question on a demo. Appreciate it. Keep up the fine work.
Keep asking.
Yeah, exactly. I'll keep asking.
Okay, thank you so much. See you in the
Thanks, Tatiana.
SmartBear community. Thank you.
Bye-bye.